Hi guys, this is Brad from iBUYPOWER. Today we're looking at a new product from MSI, a laptop called the GS30 Shadow. In and of itself, it's a pretty nice laptop. i7 processor with Iris Pro, magnesium body, and the whole thing weighs just over 2.5 pounds. But it does have a secret weapon. It has a docking station you can put the laptop in. It gives you all the power of a full-size desktop graphics card. This is very much a have your cake and eat it too proposition. You get all of the conveniences of a laptop and the performance of a desktop, but you only have to buy 1.5 products instead of 2. To hopefully demonstrate its value, we are pitting it against the 2 competing usage models for those who would like the portability of a notebook but the performance of a desktop. This would apply mostly to people like college students who need a laptop for class, but when they get back home they would like to have a full desktop for that desktop gaming experience. First up, we have the traditional usage model, a desktop PC and a thin and light laptop. You have the laptop for when you need portability, and when you get home you have the desktop which has all of its performance. The problem is you have to buy 2 different products. You end up splitting your budget between them, and you can't usually get exactly what you want in either. On the opposite end of the scale, you have a desktop replacement notebook. These behemoths give you most of the power of a gaming desktop with some portability, but you're not going to be as powerful as a desktop, and it's nowhere near as portable as something like an Ultrabook or even a thin and light laptop. This is where the GS30 comes in. You get the same basic CPU, RAM, and storage as the desktop replacement, but you get to pair it with the video card and additional storage of a full desktop. All 3 of these systems cost about $2,000 total, so we're going to pit them against each other and see what ends up being better. We're going to be scoring them on 4 different metrics. Firstly, the battery life and overall portability of the notebook component. Next, the performance of the notebook component. Then the performance of the desktop component. And finally, the convenience of using the whole thing. So really quick, on the desktop side we have an i5 with GTX 760, coupled with an Ultrabook running a low voltage i5 and integrated graphics. Both are equipped with SSDs, and the desktop has an additional 1TB storage drive. Desktop price around $1,400 and the notebook around $600, totaling $2,000. Obviously we could push budget more to one side or another, but this setup we all agreed gives the best mobile experience without spending too much. Our desktop replacement has a mobile i7 with GTX 970M graphics, 256GB of SSD, and a 1TB hard drive just like the desktop notebook combination. The GS30 comes standard with a similar mobile i7, 256GB of SSD, and we've put a 1TB drive and GTX 970 into the dock. For our portable scenarios, we'll start with the weight of the notebooks. The GS30 is actually lighter than most Ultrabooks, so it's extremely easy to carry. The desktop replacement weighs almost 3 times more and does not fit into most backpacks. Battery life tests show a reasonable 4 hours for web browsing and productivity software on the GS30. Ultrabooks can actually get upwards of 6 hours in this type of test, but they average around 5. The desktop replacement can't keep up even with its huge battery and gets just 3 hours. Graphics performance of the desktop replacement is almost an order of magnitude higher than the 2 laptops, with a small penalty for running on battery versus plugged in. It's important to note that the GS30 can actually play less graphic intensive games like League, Diablo 3, CSGO, or Civ just fine, where the Ultrabook struggles. Productivity performance of the GS30 is huge for a laptop of its size and weight class, boasting a full quad-core i7 just like the desktop replacement, compared to the tiny dual-core processor in the Ultrabook. Switching over to desktop performance, the story completely changes. The desktop replacement still edges out the traditional desktop, but is stomped by the GS30 and its dock when it comes to gaming, and all 3 are neck and neck on productivity. Our last and biggest concern is the practicality of the setup. The desktop replacement offers the most convenience because it is just one system without the need to dock or transform it. Its large screen was also much nicer to work on than either of the small notebooks. However, it is impractically large and heavy for those who value portability. The desktop-laptop combo requires the user to switch between 2 independent systems, which is less than ideal. However, new cloud storage features within Windows will make it so that you generally don't have to worry about your data getting disorganized across multiple machines. For the GS30, the biggest downside by far is the fact that you absolutely have to shut the system down in between docking and undocking, so the transition is not as smooth as just picking up the laptop and walking away. Luckily, the startup process is very fast. We clocked the whole process of shutting down, docking, and restarting at under 10 seconds, so it's actually not a huge problem. Another consideration is that the GS30 in its dock is tiny, far smaller than a standard desktop, and even smaller than most ITX systems. Well, there you have it. The GS30 is the clear winner when it comes to value. I'll leave it up to you whether the conveniences or inconveniences of each setup is worth it. If you'd like to know more, you can check out MSI's website on the GS30, or you can head over to our configurator. Thanks for watching.